back to another Ask Robyn. I'm Erin from the Parents Hub, and this is Robyn Papworth from Play Move Improve. We are back for another Ask Robyn.
Great.
Okay, this question came up in a meeting that we had here at the Hub the other day with Robyn that blew our team's mind. It was the best hour ever. We're all still talking about it. And we're asking this question on behalf of Ask Robyn because it needs to be shared. Because I feel like there are so many parents that are having this problem, and once you give this answer, it will be like mind blown.
Hopefully I give the same answer.
Awkward if you don't. Okay, the question is, why does my child wake at 4 a.m?
I know where you're going with this.
Or
one.
around that time.
Oh yes, and even if any of you are hitting 40, 50 like me,
Ooh, okay.
There's a stress hormone called cortisol.
Okay.
Cortisol, we need it. And again, sort of we were talking about previous episodes, we were talking about anxiety. We need anxiety or we would not have motivation.
Yeah.
We need cortisol or we would not have motivation. We need an element of stress, or I'm not going to go search for food, water, work, friendships. So we need this stress hormone. So please don't think you have to get rid of it. But it does wake you up in the middle of the night if you've had a stressful day. So if you can imagine, we have a bucket full of cortisol, and its job is to wake us up in the morning. That's its job. So it does sort of the opposite to melatonin. Melatonin nods us off to sleep, that first stage of sleep. Cortisol wakes us up. So when we wake up in the morning, cortisol is increasing throughout the day. It's designed to, made to do that.
Yeah.
But imagine if you've bottled up stress throughout your day, or you've pretended that you're fine, sort of like I'm doing really. I'll be up at 3.
Yeah.
It's fine. Up at stress. It's actually increasing throughout the day, which means by 3 or 4 a.m. typically, it tips over and it overflows your brain with cortisol.
Even
and it
if
wakes
you're
you up.
asleep.
Yeah.
So you can get to sleep okay sometimes.
Yeah, because melatonin will get you to sleep.
Okay.
But cortisol's been bubbling, building above typical range because you're stressed.
Yeah.
More. And then 3 to 4 a.m. is when it typically will tip over.
Okay.
And then you're awake or your children are awake.
Yeah.
And it's like, you'll know if it's cortisol because it's like they are so awake. They're ready for the day.
In the context of a child. So if
Yeah.
you think about all of this, we're talking about cortisol stress in a child.
Yep.
And then they wake up at 4-ish. What time did
It's between 3 and 4 a.m.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
And because, just a side note to that, I often hear of children being given melatonin.
Yes.
That the doctor gives melatonin, so then that helps them get to sleep. But in this case, what Robyn's saying is that, yes, they might get to sleep fine, or, the melatonin might help, but then at 3, 4, because of the cortisol, they've actually woken up. And then what were you saying, the signs of this?
Yeah, that they're very awake.
Yeah,
They're awake. They're ready to go.
Ready to go for the day.
Yeah, because that's what cortisol does. Cortisol's job is to get you ready for the day. They've actually done research in mice, I might be wrong, rats or mice, where they took away cortisol and the rodent stopped looking for food. Because that's how much this cortisol is so important to our well-being. It makes us
so
desire.
we need it, but not this much.
Yes,
Okay.
and not to a point that it's building up throughout the day.
Yeah.
So even, for example, go back to the first question you asked me, how am I? I've had a pretty rough morning. So I am already in my afternoon plan prioritizing reducing my cortisol.
Yeah.
And this is what we need to do for our children as well.
Yeah, so let's use the example of a child that's come here to playgroup.
Yep.
Say a 3-year-old has come here to playgroup around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And we were saying, here there are quiet areas, there's a big yard, there's all these quieter zones. Yeah.
Yep.
Zones. However, our main playroom, when there's people everywhere, there's lights, there's a TV monitor with slideshow, there's things, noise, what would that do?
Yeah, and so what we want to look at is how we can sometimes get into this rut of cortisol is we do a thing called masking. So masking means the child could be in this environment looking like they're okay.
Yeah.
Looking like they're functioning okay.
Yeah.
But when they come home, it gets unleashed.
Which often happens with my school kids.
It comes unleashed after school, or during the night is when they. It's because we've bottled it up here. We've coped in the environment. It looks like we're coping in the environment. So then we as parents don't step in to help them, because we're like, oh, they're fine. They're doing great at kinder, or they're doing great at school. Until they come home in their safe place and they go, wow. And so all that time at playgroup, as much as we try and offer zones, and we'll keep trying, and I've given you some strategies last week's meeting, and I'll share some now. We want to try and still have that stress hormone coming. We're expecting an element of it, but reduce it where we can. And so in those moments, if the child is looking anxious, we'll do water play, for example. Mine is dishes. I actually love to do the dishes. I love to, this sounds bizarre, but I water the garden and then I water my feet. That's my cortisol strategy, because cortisol, to reduce your stress, it's about finding something that's mindful that you enjoy. And once we're in a moment of, we call it flow. Some people call it flow. I'm watering my garden, I'm watering my feet. My stress hormones are coming.
Is that kind of that feeling of like time's flying?
Yes. Okay. Learning and play for children, that's their way they express themselves. If they're doing an activity that they love, they're going to keep their cortisol levels at a healthy range. If they're doing something that you're expecting of them, you know, you must do this learning, quote unquote learning, they're going to feel the pressure, similar to us. So it's trying to, throughout their day, acknowledge that there are going to be moments where you're going to have more stress. You know, me going to a party, my stress will come up. But after that moment, what will I do? And usually, just to give you a little bit of a warning, often people think, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll give them a warm bath before bed. Raising body temperature can, for some children, raise cortisol. So just be careful, because we were taught when we were little, oh, you feel sad or frustrated or angry, have a hot chocolate and a warm bath before bed. Research shows that can actually increase your heart rate, increase your body temperature, and that may make you wake up more during the night. So it's very dependent on whether the children, for example, my daughter and my son, twins, they would bath separately in separate temperatures, because my daughter would love a nice warm bath before bed, and that would reduce her cortisol. She'd sleep through. But for my son, he's amped up, like he's ready for action in that body temperature. So this is where it's really important to go with the flow of your kids. See where they look relaxed.
What they like.
Yeah, and you'll see like their shoulders will drop, and you go, that's a great activity for them. That is a nice flow, calming activity for them. Some it might be they reduce their cortisol by lots of exercise and dancing and wrestling a cushion. That might be how they reduce their cortisol. Other children might like to prefer to just draw to music, make paper mache.
I was just thinking, so with, say, that example I gave before of a 3-year-old, say 2-year-old, and they've come to playgroup, and, you know, then we want in the afternoon for them to have some downtime. Is a nap counted as downtime?
So it's going to reduce their cortisol for a 2-year-old.
What about a 3-year-old who...
They're on the cusp, right?
Say they're not napping.
And this is the tricky
part. What are the
part.
quiet things you could do?
Well, something that's going to settle their body. So, for example, if I gave my child if I gave one of my children a drawing activity in that moment, he'd get frustrated by it, not doing that. But his sister would love it. My youngest would love just to go out on a hammock. We've got like a monkey bar hammock set up, and she would just sit there for half an hour. So instead of having a nap, she's still reducing her cortisol by just getting that beautiful rhythmic rocking.
What about when they watch TV?
I knew you were going to ask that.
What about when you go home, just chill, and you put a Gabby Dollhouse on?
I know, and this is where I got to remind you, I have therapy brain and I have mum brain. As a mum, TV is amazing, because I can catch up on my work, I can do the dishes, I can have a cuppa. So I never say no TV, but I'm just, please be mindful of where you put TV.
That's not the cortisol reducing strategy, you wouldn't
passive.
Say. That's part of...
it's we call it passive. So when I'm staring at a screen, it's passive. Where if I was, for example, what I like about TV is my youngest, Phoebe, she'll often be watching TV but hanging upside down. Like she loves hanging upside down on the couch. That's her soothing. She loves what we call vestibular. She likes to be upside down. That's why she likes the hammock. She likes. So for that, amazing. But if you give her an iPad, she's not going to do that while watching TV on an iPad. So it's not getting the stress out of her body is what I'm trying to do with cortisol. I need the stress to release from the body.
So can you give us, say, 5 examples
I love it.
for a toddler?
Yeah, absolutely. So dance, really, really silly for some of our children that have lots of energy.
Yeah.
I need you to, as a parent, to also be silly. I think sometimes we're so serious because cortisol is pumping through our body. Just be ridiculous. You know, like dance with ribbons, throw paper up into the air. Like I need you to be silly. So then when we're silly, we're releasing that.
Yeah.
Like we need to get that out of our body.
And it's so good for us too, like that scenario.
Yeah. I want you to be also mindful. Yoga for some, you could teach a toddler a little bit of yoga, but yoga for me does my head in.
Yeah.
I can't get my body to that state, but some babies love yoga.
Yeah.
Downward dog, baby
just
pose.
Stretching.
Yeah, just calm. Children, toddlers love outside. They love it. So finding leaves, pine cones, sticks on a real quick walk around the block, like 5-minute walk. Nothing long, just find some sticks and trees, bring them back.
Yeah.
They really love water play.
Yeah.
I just can't explain how amazing water play is enough.
Yeah.
We are, if you look at our human nature, we love earth, water, fire.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm not telling you toddlers to do fire.
Yeah.
But earth, we love bare feet. We love sticks. We love dirt. We love putting our feet in sand and mud and water. We love water.
Yeah.
That's why showers are really nice.
Yeah.
Baths are great. Just watch the temperature.
Yeah.
If your child starts to look hot,
Yeah.
it might be actually raising their stress response. Another activity for toddlers is they love making things out of cardboard boxes. Forts, cars, trains, just drawing in, scribble all over it.
Yeah.
When I'm in a cardboard box, I'm sitting like this, and it's giving my vagus nerve a hug. I have a nerve that sits in here. It feels really good. That's why toddlers often like to be upside down, because when I'm upside down, this part feels really good. So when I'm in a cardboard box or sitting in a basket or being snuggled on you in this position, it feels so amazing. And just for, if you can, the 5th one, be in the moment with them. Like let your toddler show you what they're interested in. And it's not all afternoon. It's 2 to 5 minutes. And it's trying to go, if I can prioritize that, if I can prioritize real connection, phones away, no distraction, if I can be in the moment with them for 2 to 5 minutes, you're both going to get into flow. Time might actually go quicker and you'll end up being there for longer than 5 minutes. But you're trying to reduce the cortisol throughout the day, so it's not tipping over at night. And if you are in the 40 to 50-year-old bracket and you're waking up in the middle of the night, one thing I'd love for families to learn, which is amazing, and we're going to do it together, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, I want you, the brain's pretty cool. It has a thing called visual imagery. So if we imagine splashing water on our face, we'll get a similar response to if we actually splash water on our face. So cool. And water on your face feels really good. It's why in my kit, I'll see if I have it, I probably haven't packed it. I have a spray bottle that is just, really small. This is from Amazon, I think. So I literally just, I'm going to take my glasses off. I spray my face. Like it feels amazing. Similar to like, when we were younger, we used to put deodorant on. We just love the feeling of spraying ourselves with deodorant. Children love it. And, you don't tend to go up to your kids and spray them in the face, but even like on your wrist, like just put it on your wrist.
Yeah,
wrist feels
they
good.
say that about your wrist.
So it's good. Yeah, feels good. Yeah, it's like how good does it feel? It's like, it feels amazing.
Yeah.
But you don't have to actually do this. Let's do it and we'll still feel a similar response.
Okay.
So we're going to get our hands and you're going to do this with us online. And you've got like a cold basin. So you're at the bathroom basin. It's freezing in this water. This basin is really cold. I just want you to scoop the water up and flick it on your face. And like really flick it. Like flick the water onto your face. It feels ridiculous. Can you feel like chills? Splatters. Yes? Yeah. Like visual imagery is really powerful. It takes practice. So like now all I have to even think about doing is that exercise and my shoulders drop. Like it's just instant because I know it's going to feel good. So even teaching toddlers are a bit tricky, but if you can do that, then we become more settled, less anxious, and then we're more able to think about what to do for our children. And it's even if it looks ridiculous, absolutely, but you could do it in the bathroom. You could do it just before you go to bed. It just feels so good. And this is such a simple resource you can have in your pocket for those moments where we just need to reset our cortisol levels. So if you can, My advice with melatonin, please get a pediatrician to do that. Please don't go to a chemist.
They're very hard to come by.
I know, but if we're going to the chemist and we're sort of medicating off what we think the packet says, that becomes a bit risky because we're all different digestion and metabolism speeds. Children grow so quickly, so we've got to adapt the rates. Just if I can make a recommendation, be careful what we're doing with melatonin because it has an impact on cortisol. And cortisol is that cheeky hormone that's waking our children up. So.
And with the 4 a.m. wake up, can they get back to sleep?
Not usually, and that's what families say. It's like once they're at 4, oh my gosh, they're up for hours. Yes, because that's its job. That's cortisol's job. So it's doing its job, but if we could try.
I'm so keen to know if you are having this problem. And
see how you
implement it. Maybe like give it a week.
2 weeks. I usually
2
say.
weeks. Give it 2 weeks. Let us know if it helped, and please share with someone who you think that might help because I feel like that piece of information might really change a lot of families' lives. So let us know. We would love to hear.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon. Bye. Hopefully you're not up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Sleep well.
Sleep well.